Hello, welcome back. So I'm really excited for this. For Christmas I got one of those like Jenga stacks, or just Jenga, and I saw all these TikTok videos of people painting them to look like films and like to represent, so that then you played it and it was like actually more fun. So I wanted to do that, but like with my favourite books or like some books I like. And yeah, so this is like the first in a series. I reckon I'll probably do like one with three like once a month, unless it's like more complicated one or whatever. But yeah, so this first one I'm working on is Of Mice and Men, which is like my all-time favourite book. I just love it. I think I read it when I was too young. Emotionally scarring. But yeah, it was like, it's such a beautiful story. I'd highly recommend it. It's quite an easy classic. It's very sad, so be aware of that. But yeah, so I cocked up on this first one, right? Because obviously, like, when you can see the grain of the wood on the blocks, so technically you should paint it white if you want like a cleaner, slicker background coat. And I forgot that. But it's kind of okay, and I kind of dig it for this, because obviously, if you don't know, Of Mice and Men is about two men who it's set, I don't want to guess exact year, but it's basically, I think it's, I don't know, a long time ago. And there's two men who look for work out in the countryside, somewhere down south in America. So kind of having the grain of the wood, like, I feel like it looked pretty funky and gave that kind of farmy vibe. But yeah, so I copied the titles off of the books and also used colours off of, like, obviously there are quite a few editions of this book because it's been around for a long time and it's very popular. So I went for like the one I liked the most, which was this like mustard yellow and grey. And then this other one I did was Six of Crows inspired. It's a classic. I'm really excited for the next one, but I think I'm going to have to reread the two because, I don't know, I've kind of forgotten quite a bit of the stuff, and like, I need to get back into the vibe for when it comes out. But I don't think it'll be for a while, so it's okay. But yeah, so this one was really fun to do because it was like a mixture of that like cursive-y kind of, it's a very pretty font. And I'm sorry about the like shadow flashing. It's because I was trying to get the right angle and I didn't think about the fact that that's right by my letters in my room. And I've got a massive head, so of course I blocked it. But yeah, so I was really proud of how that turned out. And then on the back, you're gonna guess what I drew? I drew a crow. So I wanted to keep it simple, like, other than the titles, obviously, because I wanted to shoot myself in the foot with that. Because I wanted to make sure it was something that could be, like, instantly recognisable for that book, but equally, like, it was little room for error. Well, I actually was pretty happy with how that turned out. And pencil rubs out on these really easily, so that was a really nice surprise. So yeah, Six of Crows, if you don't know, is basically, it's part of a duology, which will be a trilogy, I reckon, because there is another book coming for sure, and I think it will end there, well, just from my instincts. And it follows a group of kind of, I guess you'd say they're like outlaws, that's a good way to put it, I think, in this city called Ketterdam, which is a kind of, oh my god, this description is great. It's basically where this group of outlaws get together, this gang leader called Kaz, he's like 17, I think, so, doing better at his life than I have. They all go on this like major heist mission to this really like kind of, it's a very coveted place, so it's very difficult. Obviously it's always going to be difficult when there's a heist in a book. And it's about their trip to it and kind of their relationships forming. There are 6 of them. Wow, well done me. Yeah, so it's a really good book. The second book was really good. I can't decide which one I liked better. I think I'm gonna have to read them both at the same time and then decide. The second book had a lot of twists and turns, ended on a major cliffhanger, kind of tore out my heart, and I think it tore out like a lot of people's hearts who read it, but in a kind of good way, in that like I liked it because it, you know, it flipped what you'd expect the book to do. Yeah, so this one I'm working on now is a Cruel Prince inspired one from the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. I really enjoyed this book. I have like really good memories attached to it because it was like, I don't know, I read it in the summer when I was like first kind of getting back into reading, and it was just a really fun time and like a really cool story. The characters were so like vibrant and colourful, and the whole series, like the series as a whole, is amazing so far. Haven't read Queen of Nothing yet, which is the third, and I haven't read How the King of Helheim Learned to Hate Stories. I don't know if I will read that one, but you know, maybe. But Wicked King and The Cruel Prince are really top notch. Yeah, so for this I just did like the book kind of typical thing of the font for the title, that's the word, and then I did a crown on the back because that's kind of the thing that's repeated on all the book covers, and obviously, you know, the title. So yeah, I again remembered to do a base coat, and actually it's really helpful because at first I thought you had to kind of skim around the stuff, but when you're doing those, like the pencil will show through quite clearly, so you can just paint over the whole thing without having to worry about your sketching. Yeah, so I'm sorry if this is a bit jumpy because obviously I'm going back and forth between like painting the doing the base coats and the sketches for all of them and then coming back to do them, like finish them, but I just did it like that. Yeah, to like save time and stuff. So yeah, I painted the bunny. I was really happy with how it turned out, actually. Like, I feel like it's not, you know, it's not the best, but I'm not an artiste, so I'll let myself off. And then I accidentally splodged a tiny bit of grey on that bit there, and I was so upset. Like, why? But yeah, I think I'll just leave you to watch it for a bit with some music, and then I'll come say goodbye at the end.
Oh, when you look at me like that, I swear that something in the air so vibrant. Now I'm just pointing out the fact. Oh, won't you tell me how you feel, You keep looking at me, looking at you, feeling so deep, gonna catch an overload. Looking at me, looking at you, babe. I've been looking at you all day. Looking so good, looking at me, making me feel like I do it all for you. Looking so good, looking at you, babe. Just something about your way now. You keep looking so good, looking at me, making me feel like I do it all for you. Looking so good, looking at you, babe. Hey, I think I'm into you. You make me wanna put my roots down. We'll never fly unless we try. Unless we try. Wanna get it close with you. You make me wanna put my roots down. We'll never fly You made me wanna put my roots down. Made me wanna put my roots down.
Yeah, so now I'm just finishing up the lettering. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about The Cruel Prince because I realised I didn't really give it a synopsis like I did for the others. Basically it's a series, and the first book is about a human girl who is brought up in the Fae world, and it's a world where Fae are really harsh and cruel. And she basically has this relationship with a cruel prince called Carden, and it's like they really hate each other, like really. So it's that journey. The characters are really cool, the world building's awesome, it's just a really fun ride, it's a YA. So I highly recommend it, and I'm really excited for the next book. I think the second book was possibly my favourite. But yeah, now I'm just adding some Mod Podge to it, and I was so heartbroken because it smudged the gold paint that I used on the crown and the Cruel Prince one, but I'm still really happy with how they turned out. But yeah, so the Mod Podge just helps to like secure the stuff you use to like artistically on it and make sure it doesn't like rub off or erode, and it also makes it shinier and like kind of just a slicker finish. Mod Podge is the same thing that's used for like decoupage and stuff, so you can find it in most craft stores. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in a new video soon. If you liked it, subscribe, like, comment, bye.